Every man on this planet is on a journey of power, whether he is conscious of it or not. He occupies one of three distinct stages, one of three powerful archetypes that define his reality, his relationships, and his relationship with himself. The vast majority of men are born into and will die in the first stage, that of the prisoner. A select few, through immense effort and self-awareness, will stage a breakout and ascend to the second stage, that of the prince. And an even smaller, elite fraction of those men will complete the final, most difficult journey, ascending to the third and ultimate stage, that of the king. These are not just words. They are psychological realities. The prisoner is a man trapped by his circumstances, a slave to his emotions and his need for validation. The prince is a man of action, a builder of his own destiny, who has seized control of his life. And the king is the man who has achieved true sovereignty, the master of his inner world, who shapes his reality through the sheer force of his own character. Today, this is your map. This is your guide to this profound journey. We will first hold up a mirror so you can identify, with brutal honesty, your current stage. And then, we will provide you with the exact philosophical tools and strategic steps required to stage the first and most important ascension of your life, the great escape from the prison of the mind. Let us begin by diagnosing the conditions of the first stage, the reality of the prisoner. The prisoner's defining characteristic is that he believes his suffering comes from the outside. The prison, in his mind, is made of external walls. The bars are his difficult past, his dead-end job, his lack of genetic gifts. The guards are the people who have wronged him, the society that holds him down, and the women who reject him. His entire life is a reaction to things that happen to him. He spends his days rattling the bars, cursing the guards, and lamenting the thickness of the walls, never realizing a crucial, terrifying truth. The prison is not around him. It is within him. The bars of his cage are not made of iron, but his own flawed judgments. The guards are not men in uniforms, but his own untamed emotions, his anger, his anxiety, his jealousy, that keep him in a constant state of lockdown. And the warden of this prison, the one who ensures he never escapes, is his own fragile ego, which tells him it is safer to stay inside and blame the world than take the terrifying risk of claiming his own freedom. In his relationships, the prisoner's nature is painfully obvious. He is either a needy inmate, constantly seeking validation and reassurance from a woman, clinging to her as his only source of light, or he is a resentful inmate, becoming controlling and jealous, trying to imprison her out of a desperate fear of being left alone in his cell. He operates from a mindset of absolute scarcity, believing that love and respect are rare resources that must be desperately grasped and hoarded. He does not understand that he is the one creating the very reality he so desperately wants to escape. Recognizing the bars of your own prison is the first, most courageous step toward freedom. It requires a level of honesty that most men are not willing to face. If you're looking at your own life and seeing the shadow of these walls, then you have already proven you are different. And if you are ready to break these chains and begin the great ascent, then make a commitment to your own liberation. Subscribe to this channel right now. This isn't just a channel. It's a fellowship of men who are choosing to escape. Take your first real step to freedom now, and let's discuss how to stage the breakout. The journey from prisoner to prince is the most dramatic and heroic ascension a man can make. It is the great escape, and it is not a matter of luck, but of strategy and will. It requires three essential tools. The first tool is the master key. Every prison cell has a lock, and the lock to the prison of the mind is the illusion that you can control the external world. The prisoner exhausts himself trying to change the guards' minds or bend the iron bars. The master key is a profound realization of the Stoic dichotomy of control. It is the wisdom to distinguish with absolute clarity what is in your power from what is not. The man who discovers this key experiences a seismic shift in his reality. He stops wasting his energy on the uncontrollable, the past, other people's opinions, a woman's attraction to him. He accepts these things as the fixed walls of his environment, and he turns 100% of his focus to the only things he can truly command: his own thoughts, his own actions, his own character. The moment he does this, the lock on his cell door clicks open. The guards of emotion lose their power over him because he is no longer fighting them. He is simply focusing on his own path. He is no longer a prisoner reacting to the prison. He is a strategist planning his escape. The second tool is the tunnel of discipline. Freedom is never given. It is earned through consistent, often unglamorous and difficult work. The prince in waiting understands that he must dig his way out. The tunnel he digs is forged by discipline and aimed toward his mission. His mission is a light in the distance, the free world he is digging towards. It is his compelling vision for his future, his purpose. His discipline is a shovel he uses day after day in the dark. Every time he chooses to work on his business instead of watching pointless entertainment, he is digging. Every time he forces himself to go to the gym when he feels lazy, he is digging. Every time he chooses to read a book and build his mind instead of succumbing to distraction, he is moving another shovelful of dirt. This work is not exciting. It does not provide immediate gratification. It is a lonely, repetitive act of choosing the hard right over the easy wrong. The other prisoners will mock him for it. They will tell him he is wasting his time, that there is no escape. But the future prince knows that this tunnel is his only path to a new reality. He learns to find his satisfaction not in the idea of freedom, but in the daily act of digging itself. The third and final tool for the escape is the map of the mind. An escape requires a plan. You must understand the layout of the prison and the routines of the guards. The tool for this is the practice of Stoic journaling. At the end of each day, the man planning his escape sits down with his journal. He is not writing a diary of his feelings. He is drawing a map. He reviews the event of the day and identifies his own mental patterns. He asks, where did my own judgments create unnecessary suffering today? At what moments did the guards of anger or anxiety take control of me? What was the external trigger, and what was my internal reaction? He is mapping the layout of his own reactive mind. By writing it down, he brings the unconscious patterns of his prison into the light of his conscious awareness. He starts to see the guards' routines. He learns his own triggers. This practice of ruthless self-examination allows him to plan his route. He begins to anticipate the guards' movements and to navigate his own mind with a new level of strategic clarity. His journal becomes the master blueprint for his own liberation. When a man discovers the master key of what he can control, digs a tunnel of discipline toward his mission, and draws the map of his own mind through self-reflection, his escape is no longer a question of if, but when. He breaks through the final wall of his old identity and steps out of the darkness of the prison into the light. He is no longer the prisoner. He has made the first great ascension. He is now the prince. He stands in the world a free man. His life is no longer a reaction. It is an act of creation. He is the founder of his own small but growing kingdom. He has agency. He has a purpose. He can build a business, command respect, and attract women to the sheer force of his newfound power and self-possession. He has, by all external measures, succeeded. He has won, but the journey is not over. The prince, in his new world of power and freedom, now faces a new, more seductive, and far more dangerous set of challenges. He has escaped the obvious prison of reactivity, but he is not yet a king. He must now confront the subtle temptations of his own ego, the pitfalls of his growing power, and the golden chains of his own success. For the ascension from prince to king is an entirely different kind of journey, one that requires not just the courage to escape, but the wisdom to truly rule. We left our hero at the gates of his own freedom. He has accomplished what most men only dream of. He has escaped the psychological prison of reactivity and victimhood. He has tasted the exhilarating air of the world as a prince, a man of agency, purpose, and growing power. His life is no longer a reaction to the world. It is an act of creation, by all external measures. He is a success, and it is right here at the peak of his first great victory that he faces a new set of enemies, ones far more subtle, seductive, and dangerous than the prison bars he left behind. The journey of the prince is not the end of the story. It is merely the beginning of a new, more complex chapter. He has escaped the obvious chains, but he must now contend with the golden chains of his own success. Many men ascend to the stage of the prince and remain there for the rest of their lives, never realizing they have simply traded one prison for a larger, more comfortable one. The final ascension, from prince to king, is not a battle against external walls, but against the internal enemies of ego, attachment, and the misuse of power. The first and most dangerous trap the prince encounters is the trap of the ego. The very success that liberated him now becomes his greatest vulnerability. He escaped the prison because he was humble enough to know he was a prisoner. But now, as a prince, he looks back at the men still in their cells with a sense of superiority. He begins to believe his own legend. Pride, which the Stoics knew to be a blinding passion, starts to cloud his judgment. He may stop doing the very things that made him successful: the disciplined mornings, the ruthless self-examination, the constant learning, believing he had arrived. His desire to be right starts to eclipse his desire to find the truth. The prince who succumbs to his ego stops growing, and a kingdom that does not expand inevitably shrinks. The second danger is the golden chains of attachment. The prince now has things to lose. He has the respect, the resources, and the relationship that the prisoner only craved. His new prison is not the lack of these things, but the fear of losing them. He escaped the slavery of neediness, only to find himself a slave to preservation. He might become risk-averse, afraid to jeopardize his newfound status. In his relationship, he might become subtly controlling, not out of the prisoner's desperate insecurity, but out of the prince's fear of losing a valuable asset. He has escaped the prison of wanting, only to enter the gilded cage of having. The third and most corrupting danger is the tyrant's temptation. The prince has power. He has influence. He can now shape his environment and the people in it. The temptation is to use his power not for a higher purpose, but for his own gratification. He might use his confidence to manipulate, his discipline to judge others, and his frame to dominate. He risks becoming a tyrant of his small, growing kingdom, valuing his own will above the principles of justice and wisdom. This is a man who becomes a caricature of strength, hard on the outside, but still hollow within. To ascend beyond this dangerous plateau, to become a true king, the prince must undergo 3 profound and difficult renunciations. He must let go of the very things that he believes make him powerful. The first is the renunciation of the ego. The prince must metaphorically kill his own pride. He must cultivate Stoic humility. The king understands that he is a lifelong student. He knows that his success is a product of his principles, not of his own inherent greatness. He actively seeks out criticism, not as an insult, an idea from Marcus Aurelius, but as a valuable source of data. He is willing to be wrong. He listens to the counsel of wise advisors. He treats the newest member of his kingdom with the same respect as his most senior general. The king's power is so profound that he has no need to display it. His humility is the ultimate sign of his strength. The second is the renunciation of attachment. The prince built a kingdom, but the king must be willing to lose it. This is the highest practice of the dichotomy of control and the deepest embrace of amor fati. The king loves his kingdom. He works tirelessly to protect and improve it, but he understands on a so deep level that it is all external. It is all on loan from fortune. He holds his success, his wealth, his reputation, and even his most cherished relationships with an open hand. He knows that his true, unconquerable kingdom is his inner citadel, his character. Because he is not afraid of loss, he is free to act with perfect courage and integrity in all situations. He does not make decisions based on the fear of losing what he has. He makes decisions based on his unshakable constitution of virtue. The third and final renunciation is the transformation of power into service. The prince uses his power to serve himself. His mission is about his own glory, his own success. The king undergoes a profound shift. He comes to understand the Stoic concept of sympathia, the idea that all things are interconnected in a single cosmic web. He realizes that his own well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of the whole. His power is no longer a tool for self-aggrandizement, but an instrument for a higher good. He rules not for his own benefit, but for the flourishing of his kingdom, his family, his team, his community. His mission expands beyond himself. This is the man who builds a business not just for wealth, but to create value and opportunity for others. In his relationship, he is no longer just a prince enjoying his queen. He is a king, consciously creating an environment of security, growth, and virtue for them both, for their family and for their legacy. He transforms his power from a dominating force into a creative and protective one. When a man makes these 3 renunciations of ego, of attachment, and of self-centered power, He completes the final ascension. He is no longer the prince. He is the king. The reign of the king is not characterized by noise and fury, but by a profound and palpable calm. He possesses what the Stoics called apatheia, a state of tranquility free from disturbing passions. His presence is a grounding force. People feel calmer in his presence, not because he is passive, but because his own inner peace is so deeply rooted. He does not need to prove his worth, debate his status, or announce his power. His sovereignty is self-evident. In his relationship, he is the ultimate Stoic thermostat. He loves his queen fiercely, but without attachment. He leads with a benevolent strength that inspires trust, not fear. He is a source of profound psychological safety. A man whose frame is so strong becomes a sanctuary for her to flourish. She is not his subject. She is his cherished co-ruler. Their relationship is not a chaotic drama or a needy negotiation. It is a powerful alliance between two sovereigns dedicated to a shared, virtuous purpose. This is the final stage of the journey. The king is truly free, not free from hardship, for the storms will still rage against his kingdom, but free within hardship. He has achieved the ultimate goal of the Stoic philosopher, a life of virtue, lived in accordance with reason, unperturbed by the whims of fortune. The path of the three ascensions, from prisoner to prince, from prince to king, is the great journey of a man's life. It is not a linear path with a final graduation. It is a continuous cycle of vigilance. A king who becomes complacent can quickly find himself a prisoner of his own success. The work is never truly over, but the choice is always present. You can remain in the cell, blaming the walls. You can achieve the freedom of the prince and become trapped by the allure of your own small kingdom. Or you can aspire to the final, noble ascension. You can choose the path of wisdom, service, and true sovereignty. You can choose to be the king. The throne of your own mind has been waiting for you. It is time to claim it.